Good morning and welcome back to another wonderful week of educational promise here at Charles Herbert Flowers High School. Sorry I did not get the opportunity to come and speak to you yesterday. I really wanted to address you on the first day back from spring break, but other things came in and, things happen. So didn't have an opportunity to do that. But we do need to have a conversation. All 2,200 students, this is a one-on-one conversation with you guys because I want you to be focused for these last 8 weeks of school. All right, so here's the first thing. Don't let the weather fool you. It is not summer. That's the first thing. Yeah, it's 85 degrees outside. You just got off spring break. You're feeling really good. And you start to think that it's actually summer vacation. Your mind will fool you into thinking that you can let up. That is the farthest from the truth. This is the time now that you have to focus more than ever. And it's most important because the fourth quarter grades has such a large bearing on how you'll do based on end of the year grades that you really have to invest more time during this time when your mind wants to disconnect. So tell yourself every day that it is not summer and come to school focused on the process of learning. Getting to class on time is continuing to be an issue. Now, although we only have around 75 students captured at Hall Sweep every period, that's around 3.5% of the student population, it's still too high. And when I start looking at the grades of the students that are consistently being called in Hall Sweep, it looks like those are going to be the same kids that are eligible for retention. So there is a direct correlation between you getting to class on time and how well you do academically. If you don't get to class on time, you miss the warm-up. You miss the warm-up, you miss the focus of the lesson. A lot of teachers give their classwork assignment based on you completing the warm-up. So you've already got a 0. So if you got 2 classwork assignments that day, you get a 0 and 100. That still only averages out to 50. You still failed for that day just because you refused to get to class on time. So make sure that you're getting to class on time. The Hall Sweep call is not the call that's supposed to motivate you to get to class. The Hall Sweep is actually supposed to capture those last 25 or 30 kids that are just straggling. The point that it's still up around 75 kids is way too much. You guys need to get focused now in that regard. Please make sure that you're checking your grades and school max every week. Very important that you're doing this because a lot of times, grades aren't getting updated by teachers accidentally most of the time because they just haven't gotten around to it and may have gotten lost. You want to make sure that you're advocating for yourself by checking your grades and having conversations with your teachers around those grades. So we're going to talk a little bit in a minute about how you advocate for yourself as a student. But a couple other announcements first. First, HSAs, seniors, your last opportunity to pass HSAs is next week. This is it. Some of you, this will determine whether you are graduating or not. Others of you, it really matters that you pass the exam. So do not go in there just thinking that you can sit and it's going to be all good. Go in there focusing on passing. I know that a lot of teachers, especially in biology right now, are providing support. And there's online support for you as well to get ready for this exam. Most of you guys are within 4 or 5 points of passing. So let's focus and make sure that we pass that test next week. HSAs for everyone else is on May 20th. So if you are first-time HSA and if you are in a course right now for the first time, you'll take the HSA for the first time on May 20th. That gives you a little over a month that you need to make sure that you focus. Now, I'll tell you, what data is showing us is that the students who pass the HSA the first time they take it are the students that go on and graduate on time and are admitted to college and, go on to have a great high school career. Those that don't struggle. Not to say that you can't be successful, but if you have to go back and take the HSA again after you're no longer in the course, all of the information that you received in that course is kind of flushed. And you're struggling trying to maintain your current course load as well as studying for this HSA exam that you have to pass before you graduate. So it kind of puts you in a holding pattern. So make sure that you pass the HSA the first time so you don't have to worry about it for the rest of your academic career.